Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Trail Camera Tuesday. If you're new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell. If you've been here for a while, make sure you hit the like. And if you're watching the premiere, make sure you say hello in the chat. Myself or Marilyn will always be watching to make sure that we can respond to everyone and we can have a conversation. That's why I do the premieres for Trail Camera Tuesday. So, like I said, new here, sub. Been here, make sure you like. Everyone, go say hi. So the good news this week is I have a video to show that really gives us some hope for the public land. It's starting to really creep in there. We're finally getting some footage, and as well as the viewer submissions. They're good. The numbers are down, so make sure you guys send any photos that you would like to share. It doesn't have to be a photo, it can be a video if you can email it if it's small enough. And it doesn't have to be deer, elk, moose, caribou, squirrels, raccoons, whatever. If you have something interesting or funny or cool, make sure you send it to the email below or one of the socials, Instagram, Facebook, wherever you can message Sgtoutdoors at. So, with all of that said, let's just hop right into it, shall we? The new public land. Yeah, let's start there. Okay, so we start here. The new public land was the bean field that we have that super injured deer on, if you've seen it before. I took that camera off the bean field, like I suggested everyone should. Take your cameras off the bean fields for a couple weeks. Because how much green there is in the woods. The deer are just browsing in the woods. They're going to the cornfields. They're not in those bean fields right now. They're in the timber feeding. So if you had a camera that was just killing it on the bean field and now they're gone, don't worry. Just give it a few weeks. If you want to, in the meantime, move your cameras into the woods. That's what I would suggest. That's what I did here. We'll see. I don't really think it paid off on this week, but that's okay. The other public property, though, it did pay off. We'll get there. So let's play. And there is something. So when we go pull this SD card, I didn't grab my pistol for this property. I literally thought to myself, I have not seen a bear track, nothing. I've seen zero evidence of a bear being out here. So we just went out there, and this is the first video I clicked on, and I just looked at Marilyn like, okay, and she was like, the new deal is no matter what, you bring your pistol. So that's my bad. Oh, that is a big bear. Any guesses, any bear hunters out there, any guess on how big this bear is? I don't bear hunt. I don't study, like I do nothing with bear, so my guess is he's massive. Just because his face looks really small, his legs look really short, his belly's dragging in the weeds. I would say that bear's big, but I also don't know anything about bear. So let's go on to the next one. I think there's a squirrel or something. There's a deer over here. They're running. We don't really get much. There is, I think this is the only buck that we get on camera in the new spot. I moved this camera again. I had it here for a week. It was like up on a tree where I found just a trail. I moved it to a mock scrape. I found a trail intersection. I put a mock scrape on the ground, just move the leaves, and put the camera up there. So next week we'll see what walks by and what hits it. But I think that's it from the new public land. I wanted to show you that bear, that really big bear, the alien that looked at this camera. Don't know what that was. And then that little buck. That was it. Oh, spike buck too. I think that was it now. That was a squirrel. That's a butt of a deer we don't get. They run away. Another deer running. Deer right in front of the camera. Yeah, that was it for the new public land. So, doing a little YMCA in front of the camera. So let's move to Swampland, which has been quite disappointing, but I always expect it to be. I expect no shooters out there until November. So I always just put the cameras out and I just ignore whatever's showing up. But there is some to share out here. They're moving through. So this is pretty much right where I shot my buck last year. And the deer are using this trail so heavily. After the youth season, I'm definitely going to go get a stand put up, and start hunting it a little more heavily. And then as more shooters come through, the more we'll hunt it. But we got some does walking back and forth. Then we got this little guy who's got a neat rack. He's got some neat genetics. They're very pointed up. So that'll be really cool to see if he keeps growing. The camera freaks out. I don't know what that is. More aliens. Then we have this Spike, little Spike, wander through with his pal. Oh, look, and another one. So these young bucks are still hanging out together. They don't know what to do with themselves. And then, boom. So there was 4 bucks just following each other right there. And then walks by. This camera's on a 5-second delay, so it should catch every deer, even if they're walking in a line. I also removed this camera, so we won't get this view next week, which I'm going to move the other camera I have on this property back to this spot. But let's keep going. All right, so here, this is what I wanted to bring up. If you guys were in the woods this weekend and anywhere in Wisconsin, most likely Minnesota, I don't know where else, this cold front had the deer crazy. Let me know if you saw the same thing, because if you watched the video yesterday, if you haven't, make sure you go look. I went out and I went hunting on Thursday after work, and man, just the bucks. If I just watched that footage and like didn't pay attention to how many leaves were on the trees and stuff, I'd say it was November, or it was like the beginning of the rut. We're getting there. It was crazy how much this cold front got these deer kicked up. And with all of that said, this is Sunday, and we didn't go out Sunday. Kind of regretting it, but we didn't go out Sunday, and there was so much daylight activity. Not only here on our private properties, we were getting a lot of photos, nothing crazy big. Garrett, he went out on Sunday, had tons of success. His cameras had morning daylight pictures going off like crazy. The movement in the woods on Sunday was insane. So if you were out on Sunday, congratulations, you had a great day, I would assume. It was pretty crazy. But that's where we're going to start. 7:35 Sunday morning, one little doe walks by with mama doe, looks like, right? And then we have this. This is, I don't know how big this buck is. This quality, this camera's only 720. I tried to zoom in. Didn't help. It was too pixelated. So the only view we have of this buck is right here. But I am pretty confident that I might even shoot this buck if Maryland doesn't have a chance at it. I think it's an old, big buck. It's not massive. The antlers aren't breathtaking, but the body. Let's get to it. Let's let it play. Keep your eyes over here on the left side. Look at this buck. And I'm going to pause it right here. Look how big that buck's neck is already, and his body. If I showed you this picture, you'd be like, yeah, it's November. Look at the size of that buck. He is ready to rut. It's insane. So the only thing I gotta say is this is either a really old buck, so his antlers aren't that big, and that's why he's already so big, and then come the rut, he's only gonna get bigger once they start rutting and that testosterone starts flowing through him. But his antlers don't look crazy. Like, he looks like a 115, 120 maybe at most. But I was blown away. When I saw this video, I was like, that buck is huge. Like, by body standard, that is a big deer. So that got me so excited. It also kind of disappointed me because I wasn't ready to hunt this spot yet. So I haven't put stands out. And then if you might be able to hear it, I have a sinus infection. So like, we slept in on Sunday morning. We'll probably regret that decision going forward, but this is our highlight of the week for SgtOutdoors, really, because no other property had a shooter buck walk by. There's a lot of little buck movement, lots of deer movement, but this was the only shooter buck that walked by. And unfortunately, $40 camera, this is the quality you get. You don't get that crystal clear 1080. But like, you stop it like right here, you can kind of see how big he is. Like, you just can't tell how big his antlers are. But if I'm judging by body, that's a big deer. And it gets me excited. I'm so fired up. I'm ready to go get a stand out here. I'm ready to go hunt it. And then we've seen them before, but that big spike, those spikes are 8-9 inches tall. It's crazy. But yeah, 756. The big buck walks by. 8:47. Yeah. So an hour later, all the does come running through. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then another hour later, you got 1, 2, 3, 4 coming back around. So I'm assuming they ran away. They hit the swamp. They got away from the fear of whatever they were running away from, and they came back through. And there's some bedding area straight behind this camera. It's the bedding area my buck came out of last year. And that's the last video. We walked in a couple minutes later, well, an hour later, and pulled this card. But man, this has got me fired up. Like, obviously, he's not setting any records for antler size, but this is the earliest I've ever had a shooter buck on camera out here. So it's got me fired up. I don't know if I've said it enough times. I'll probably edit some of them out, but this buck's got me fired up, and his antlers are so dark chocolatey brown. That swamp monster. All right, so on to why you guys all actually show up here. Let's get into some viewer submissions. We talked about this buck and how you lose sleep over him, and how a buck like this can change your life. Like, gets you out in the woods, gets you excited. There he is. And when you see this picture of him, you really understand the mass of those antlers. Just a beauty. Once again, congratulations. Awesome to see the mount on the wall. And like I had said last week, if you got pictures like this, go ahead and send them. Let's see your collections as well. I'm willing to share a lot of stuff here. If you killed a buck recently, make sure you send those photos in so we can all congratulate you. We want to see it. We want to see everyone's success. So the only thing I ask is try to keep the blood out of the photo. It's the YouTube thing. Like, I don't want the videos to get flagged for inappropriate content or anything. So try to keep the blood out of the photos if you do send kill pictures or anything. But anyway, let's continue. So yeah, you lose sleep over a buck like this. Let's get into the rest of the submissions from this week. Like I said, quality's good, the numbers are down. Make sure you send them in. Sgtoutdoors@gmail.com. What do we got here? Great looking 8-pointer. Solid, symmetrical rack. Love it. Love to see it. Kind of looks... Nah, it's a big buck. That's an old deer. 3.5? It's tough. I'm terrible at aging deer, so don't listen to me. That's a great buck. Wish a little brow tine length would have came through in the genetics, but either way, great deer. And then we got a repeat, a zoom. I'm assuming this picture is that same buck. It looks about the same. Yeah, I mean, those are perfectly in line with each other. Great looking deer, and it's always fun when you can get a lot of pictures of a deer before you hunt them, before you kill them. See them hitting the same spots all year round because it's green here. It's the same spot. I think it looks pretty similar. Same buck moving around. Get them patterned. Find out where they are. Oh, man. Oh, there we go. There's a giant. This year has been an epiphany to me of how much bigger bucks look from the back. But regardless, that's a big buck. I mean, that tine, if I had to guess, was 10 inches minimum. That is a huge buck. Great looking deer. There's another one. These are some quality genes that you have running around on your property. Every deer perfectly symmetrical. They look awesome. It is some great deer. There are some great deer out there. Congratulations. Hey, there you go. Congratulations. That is a great buck. Is that one of the photos, or are these all from 2020, or is that this buck? They're not in order. I apologize if this is the same person and you want to claim it. Go ahead. But congratulations. Great looking buck. All right, what do we got here? I don't think I'll be able to zoom on that much. Is this rack goofy? Or is this head funny? It's a weird looking buck right there. Once again, great symmetrical genes. That is not the last picture. I hate how this works sometimes. What do we got? Right there. All right, here's the next one. Man, symmetrical for days. I asked the question last week. I said there was going to be a poll. And then when I uploaded the video, I realized YouTube took that away. So I'll ask it again this week. Say it in the comments. Do you prefer say you have an 8-pointer with 2 kickers to make them a 10, or would you rather have a symmetrical 10-pointer? Say the inches are identical. Say they're the same exact size. Would you prefer the kickers, or do you prefer the symmetrical? Because me personally, I prefer the kickers. I love it. I love the odd antlered bucks. They don't have to be nearly symmetrical. It might not just be kickers. Like, if you just give me a weird looking buck, I'm excited. So, like I said, I did a poll last week, didn't work. So, in the comments, let me know what you guys think. In the comments, make sure you tell us how your hunts are going this year, how your cameras are doing. My Facebook feed and Instagram feeds are blowing up now that, like, I'm pretty sure close to every state, their bow season is finally open, and my phone is just blowing up with pictures after pictures. So a lot of people finding success. Are you guys out there? Are you getting out there? And when are you gonna get out there? But once again, great looking buck there. Jesus, that's a big one. Once again, you got that. I don't know if that's just a point or if that's the up from the antler like I have on the public land. But great looking buck. Great looking deer, man. I will admit that I am jealous of you guys at times. Not gonna lie. I can't really see much of that photo. Sorry that we can't really see anything. I mean, you can see antlers, so you know it's big. When it's pixelated like this, but you can tell there's antlers, you know it's a good buck. Let's keep moving. Oh, Jesus. It has been confirmed that this isn't on a farm or a high fence or anything, so this is just incredible. Absolutely, like, congratulations doesn't cut it when you put in the work. Like, a lot of people, if you own land, can accomplish genetics and have a herd and take care of that herd over years of hard work. You can do it. So I don't want, like, congratulations doesn't sound like the right word, like, good work. Way to put in the blood, sweat, and tears. I can only imagine how many years you put into getting this to being, this is what your trail camera photos look like. So, once again, thank you for sending your photos. I love to see them. Really put some dreams in perspective. You know, trying to own your own chunk of land is really important. So that you can do something like this. So you can create a habitat that brings bucks together. And this one's still in velvet. So, yeah, they're probably still a little bachelored up, but I can only imagine what this property turns into once those bucks start moving too. There's probably ones on neighboring properties that come through and you get even more bucks this size. It's incredible. I mean, the number one thing, so I don't own any land. I'm not going to say I own any land. But the number one thing that I have seen from anyone that has had success managing herds is cooperation with your neighbors. That will be the most important part of anything. So I can only imagine what your neighbors are like. And congratulations again, but jeez, just bring some excitement to the heart when you see photos like that. Oh my God. You're killing me, Smalls. We got a kicker on the base there. You got a giant behind him. His body looks small for being antler size that big. Just a great buck. Oh man. If you got any names, if you want to admit who this is, or if you just want to put a name, we can make up names if you want. I would assume this is your number one target buck as well. I know it would be mine. So, and I don't want to point out too much, but the last picture was 300 photos. One night. Oh no, the date's wrong. Oh yeah, in one day you got 300 and some photos. That's doing well. That's doing very well. Yeah, that buck is just absolutely incredible. Congratulations to you, sir, and good luck. Good luck this season. Oh man, here we go with some more. Oh my God, just the brow tines on that thing. What a deer. I mean, this is what you guys tune in for right here. It's to see bucks like this. Things that I would say 70% of the population will never see in their life. And you got multiple photos of it. To say I'm jealous is an understatement. Hey, there's a good buck. Congratulations. Look at the mass on him. And he's just got 1 point, or is there another one there? A 1 or a 2 point on this side. What a buck. That's a fun one. That had some character for sure. Congratulations on that. Oh, and like I said, there you go. I mean, look at that. Earlier, that was probably that same buck, right? Now walking away, you can just see. I mean, his antlers are the size of his neck and head put together. Great looking deer. Man, you guys came through the quality this week. Like I said, quality this week was awesome. Whoever this is, good work on the plot. I love to see that. Love to see the food plots put in. Put in the work. Deer will come. They're feeding in the mornings and the evenings before going to bed. There's a lot of strategy to use for food plots. Man, great looking buck over there. Great looking herd. Once again, feeding on the food plots. This one's in the evening, probably before they head out to their egg fields. But you can just see antlers. Like I said, it's pixelated. You can see the antlers. You know it's big. And once again, your food plot looks so good. Congratulations on that. I don't know where you are, but like my plots, they got stunted on. It was, what was it, September like 8th or 9th, we got a frost on the ground this year, which stunted my food plots. All the ryegrass grew to about, I'd say 7 inches. All the ryegrass came up. They're really green. There's a good layer of clover on the bottom, but like none of the brassicas actually grew. I have maybe 10% of my entire food plot is brassica, and that's probably exaggerated, but it is what it is. Learn my lessons. I am going to plant a little sooner next year, just to buffer in case it does freeze again. But I want some green plots come November. So I got to find that sweet zone. August 1st, I thought was going to be the sweet zone to get a green plot into November. But we'll see. The ryegrass will still be green in November. The clover should still be there in November, but I'm hoping for a plot like this to look like this in November still. So don't want to plant them too early, don't want to plant them too late. Definitely need to do some work on mine, but yours look fantastic from these pictures, and they're absolutely attracting deer, so that's a positive as well. There you go. There's that buck. I hope that's your target. Good luck going after him. Another tip I would say is don't overpressure these food plots, because of it. As attractive as they are for the deer, it's just as easy to get them spooked out of there and not come back during daylight. So anyway, oh man, what a buck. Is that the same? Looks like the same bottom here, so it must be the same group of cameras. That buck, that's a great buck. Oh my god, the mass on that deer is incredible. What a deer. I think that was it. Was that the last one? That was actually the last one. I don't think I missed any photos. Oh, God. Let's go back just to be sure. Yep, right back to the beginning. That does it, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, I'm going to let you guys know there's going to be a really long outro, 5 minutes-ish, 3-5 minutes. So if we're having a chat in the side, we can continue our conversation. I brought up a lot of things about food plots and moving trail cameras into the timber this time of year until the timber browse is really turning brown. Then you're going to want to put them back on the fields to get good inventory. And once again, if you've not put up mock scrapes, make sure to go do it. It's never too late. It's never too late to go find a trail. If there's already a branch hanging over, half the work's done for you. Just scrape up the ground there, and some deer will hit it. They'll hit it and wipe their glands, and as soon as you get a couple, every deer will want to stop at that. All right, and the camera just cut off on me for some reason. Not sure why. This camera is new. I think I might have hit a file size limit or something with how long I was recording, but I don't really remember what I was saying either. Mock scrapes. Make sure you're putting up mock scrapes. I don't know what I said after that, because we're a couple hours later. I've been editing the episode, and then I realized that just the rest wasn't there. So make sure you guys like, share, comment, and subscribe. Let me know how your hunts are going. Let me know if you got shooters out there. Let me know how your year is going, because so far I'm pretty confident in saying this has been my best year ever, and I haven't even really hunted yet. So I have a lot to look forward to. My number one goal this year is to get Marilyn a deer. Doesn't have to be a monster. Doesn't have, whatever she wants to shoot, we're going to go after it, and we're going to get her a deer this year. Once that happens or November comes around, I'm going to hunt during the week, take my vacation days. So that'll be for me. But my goal, other than getting Marilyn a deer, is a 4.5-year-old, 5-year-old buck. That's just my personal goal. So hopefully I'm looking at a 1/30s size deer. That's not to say by any means, like I said in my episode on Monday, my episode that came out yesterday, you shouldn't shoot whatever makes you happy. Not everyone has the opportunity I do to just go hunting for a week because I have vacation days from work. If you can only get out 5 days a year, shoot whatever makes you happy. Enjoy the hunt, enjoy nature, be a respectful hunter in the woods, and that's what it's all about. So just because my personal goal is big deer does not mean, or does not put into the universe, that you need to wait. And how dare you shoot a 2.5-year-old? You're damaging your herd. Like, I'm not about that life. I am not about that life here. Now, is there something to be said if you own 400 acres not killing deer? Absolutely. You can grow some monsters. But when you're talking about 25, 40, even 100 acres, but you got neighbors that don't cooperate with you, just go enjoy yourself, because nothing will frustrate you more than trying to grow a herd that your neighbors are shooting. So there's a lot of tactics and ways and to try to get those deer on your property more often and blah, blah, blah. But just at the end of the day, if you're taking a weapon into the woods, you're being a respectful hunter, that is what it's all about. So get off my soapbox here quick. I just wanted to let you guys know what my goal is. Goal number 1, Marilyn a buck. Goal number 2, shoot a big one. And then you guys can let me know what your goals are. If you can only hunt a couple days out of the year, filling your freezer is probably your goal, and I can respect that. That's something to be said. If you're filling your freezer with meat, go shoot whatever you need to shoot to fill that freezer. More power to you. I love venison. I do, 100%. I love making jerky out of damn near everything. We just had steaks. We just had some venison chili the other day. I do have a venison chili recipe. It's really plain for any picky eaters you might have. I love it. Absolutely love it. So you guys can go check that out. I'll put it in the thing here. But I'm rambling now. So hopefully we're having a conversation in the chat. So I'm going to start the outro. It's going to be about 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. I'll throw some random trail camera videos up. But it's just going to be all about the chat right now. So if you're still here and you want to stick around and see what the chat has to say, you're more than welcome to. I did just get on a soapbox, so if you got some opinions, make sure you put them in the chat or the comments. If you're watching this another day, you're not watching the premiere, you can always comment down below as well. So far, I'm 100% for Tuesdays, so hopefully going forward, we continue to have a Trail Camera Tuesday premiere every single week. I'm going for it. I don't know if it's going to be possible. Life will happen. It almost happened this week. This week, I almost didn't do an episode. But I powered through on Sunday and went and got the cards and did what I had to do to get this episode out. But anyway, I'm rambling. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, enjoy the outro, and I'll see you in the woods.